Anyways, let's talk about the issue of Krobo land. So there's been a lot of issues happening. Change of postpaid meters to prepaid. And the residents of the district, in that particular district or the catchment area, also have been calling for the sample of deductions that will be made. There are some suspicions about the change of meters. So the back and forth, at some point they even sent army personnel to go supervise the installation of these prepaid meters. The army officers or soldiers were called off, and we're back. Today, we understand that a lot of the places around there do not have power, and so even that some health workers are threatening to withdraw their services because they need it to work. Now, the energy minister goes on an interview or goes to an interview at Asempa and talks and mentions some things, and I want us to watch this. I will not pass judgment on this. When we come back, let's see what we take from it, the deductions and the interpretations. Take a watch.
And they said the whole area disconnected from the national grid. Problem near there.
Problem in the new free beat within the new free beat mobile.
Oh, and then so.
This year, I never merely a free beat mobile. In real, for that can be this week. But Obi, I'm telling you, Gala. Potable be a new with me yesterday was a own jack and yaka. Say easily for back and then echo for back and then like a jack and yaka. Say the years of Mark
FM 94.5.
The all over Canadian room on you. Now, would you out to bounce money bit jack and yaka? Never. I tell the age free. Wow, jack and yaka. Oh, some fantastic about Canada.
Even if they have a legitimate claim. You've not heard the story, I must say.
Yes. Wow, who read this video we share.
Yes.
5th July. And then the market video free meeting would have. So we say claim be no more legitimate to good jack there. Take it. Akosobo. And your Krobo for there. Akwamufie for there.
Akwamufie
for there. Akwamufie for construct.
Say akosombo wa akwamufie krono.
Akwamufie.
So mo no mo enjoy free like.
I don't know. Utia bill.
Akosombo township proper.
Akosombo tia bill. If you now come and you now workers are they see down and it.
Yeah, VRA.
And but like also would electricity. Over us this year because would electricity.
Oh, okay.
Over claim is a Krobo 50 years after Kosovo or Munchia.
And only claim 50 years after
Kosovo.
And Munchia Bay.
And will be always a claim ye trouble from day one. What you say?
Yeah.
But from the one Uchia, I will have bill. It's claim baby. What you say?
But have you found out? No,
say 50 years after Kosovo. What I'm trying to say is it doesn't work that way. Everywhere we're entitlement here now. I can't be cheer. I can say after 50 years. Start to cheer.
Okay.
Not
the reverse.
Nah. See the people say we have to be produced.
Welcome back from that video. That's what it is. One thing I've learned from Mr. Philip Landing is to be watchful and cautious. I have to caution myself always, especially as a journalist, on how I dabble into issues or especially tribe because of your experiences. What we have read, we have not lived that experience. What's more worrying is that, well, my platform, clearly, I will sit here. It's not as big as where he has sat. And to, for want of a better expression, spew some of these things. Of course, it's okay when the residents have legitimate, whether legitimate concerns or not, whether they consider it as germane. But to want to go on that tangent where you mention even the people who have this and the people who have that, it goes to sit in the mind of people that, okay, when it's found on my land, I can own it. And so a lot more people, so where oil is found is mine. I don't know what you make of this, but I think this is unfortunate.
I agree with you. It's an unfortunate comment. The Honorable Energy Minister should not have gone in that direction. He shouldn't. It was a totally unnecessary comment that he made. Totally unnecessary. Like you're saying, it can. But of course, having said that, I also want to give it even more leg. All I'll say is that comment was totally unnecessary and uncalled for, and he should have probably, maybe when he was saying it, you see, sometimes I'm sitting with you having a chat, I may forget myself that, oh, it's on a national platform, so I think it's just me and you having a chat and I can just say what I like. Maybe that's what happened in this interview, because I'm sure he himself would know that that is not what he should have said. So I'll just let it pass and I won't make any more comment on that. Now the issue now is the blackout of that area. I also do not want to suspect that it is being done to penalize the people.
No. PRC also released a statement calling on all ECG workers in the troubled areas to cease the services there.
PRC
Yes.
or the union?
No.
The union.
Is that the union?
Yes,
okay.
the union.
All right. Okay.
You see, this situation is one that needs calm heads. The residents haven't helped themselves. It has not been a secret that the government intends to get them to pay. Yes. Years back, at the time Akosombo Dam was built, we were using, as a country, 25% of the energy produced from Akosombo Dam. 50% went to Valco. Just Valco was taking 50% of the energy produced at Akosombo. And the rest of the nation, which at the time was just the southern part of Ghana, 25%. In those days, technology was such that the longer the distance you transmit the power, the less of the power that gets there. So transmitting the power beyond certain distances was not too economical.
Okay.
That's how come the Akosombo power was feeding just southern Ghana. Along the way, technology has improved and the systems have improved. So now the power is able to be sent further. So now we have power in the north. You see, in fact, a whole northern electricity department or division was set up to see to powering northern Ghana, and that's what happened. So the dynamics have changed. Electricity used to be one of the cheapest things in Ghana at the time the dam was built. And that's how come we had so many industries and all that. It was cheap. People got used to leaving lights on because it was nice to have lights everywhere. So people leave all their lights on and everything. That was in those days. Things have changed. We don't rely on Akosombo entirely. We rely on other power sources that cost a lot of money to produce. You know, all kinds of generating sources to add to the general production mix. So electricity is not cheap. And every electricity consumer must understand and appreciate that now it costs a bit more money to enjoy the service. And it is the responsibility of everybody getting that service to pay for it. But some people are still stuck in the time bubble that they were promised free electricity some years back because they were close by. And during the construction period, they suffered. The trucks were passing there. Some of their people who died in the process, etc. So they were enjoying free electricity.
Well, this is one of the first times I've heard this one. I'm too sure those are just conversations on the side.
Yeah.
What I have heard them say really is the suspicions they have
Of the billing process.
With the prepaid meters. They were using the postpaid, I guess.
You see, the thing is, when the electricity meters were provided, the people still refused to pay. So the postpaid meters are there, and people haven't paid. ECG's complaint is that for about 8 years, some people have simply not paid a bill. The people simply refuse. And what is worse is that the government then says, okay, if postpaid you won't pay, then you will give you prepaid. Then you have some of their traditional leaders actually leading the people to say that we will not pay because it is our right to have free electricity. It is this situation that has to be managed with clear heads. To the extent that now the ECG personnel who go to do their normal work
Are attacked,
which is a criminal action. And you have elders in the area defending and supporting some of these people involved in these criminal acts. To the extent that even some of the ECG people actually refuse to go to the area to go and work because their security is at risk. So then a military detachment is provided to give them more security. This is how the situation has gotten.
I see.
So I think the conversation must be limited to these facts. Like I'm saying, some of their extra comments that the energy minister made, I think let us disregard that.
Should we?
No, let us, because where we are as a nation, such a comment has no place.
But
so let us disregard it. That is my suggestion.
I see. Let me come to you, and this is not the first time indeed. I think someone needs to talk. I mean, he also made some comments about the Keta tidal waves when they happened. The Ketu South MP had to descend heavily on him with that. There's a way he just throws words sometimes, and I don't know whether, and for some of us, we should be the ones doing that, and people like him and you cautioning us to say, hey, young man, it has a tendency of spiraling into something heavy. I don't know. So maybe we should be saying it to caution him, and then probably we can proceed, just as Mr. Landon says, to deal with the issues.
Koku, he could have found a better way of saying what he wanted to say with regards to the comments on who owns the Akosombo lands. But I believe that it was predicated on a question that was asked based on the fact that they have said Kwame Nkrumah indicated after 50 years they're not supposed to pay electricity bill. Yes, he could have handled it differently. That kind of comment that came out wasn't the right comment to come out for a person of that stature, for a person who is a minister, and on a platform like the media. So we condemn it. However, apart from the fact that the people in the area did not want to pay, based on that, ECG decided, okay, let's change everything to prepaid meters. Now, the challenge that came up was that even with those prepaid meters, they were doing illegal connection. Yes. That was the challenge. They were doing illegal. So ECG said, okay, we've changed it. You said you don't want to pay. Prepaid, you'd have to pay before you enjoy electricity. They were doing illegal connections. And the new CEO, he said that, okay, if that is the case, then we need to collect money. Look, you see, in as much as some of these things cause inconvenience for people in communities, in areas like that, they have no right to do what they are doing. It's illegal what they're doing, and we should condemn it.
Indeed.
We should condemn it. The fact that it's the people and it's because of the people we should pander to what we are doing. It's wrong. The chiefs in that area should know better. The chiefs in that area should be able to talk to their people. Right now, are we not all? Utility charges are going up next week. Aren't all of us going to pay?
Is there an official statement?
Yeah. Utility charges are going up next week.
Would there be, or there is?
What do you mean, would there be?
Would there be an official notice to know how much?
Yes.
Have they agreed on the percentage that was proposed?
They've sent it to the president.
That 200, 300.
Whatever they have discussed, they have sent it to the president. Whether they've reduced it, whether they haven't reduced it, we would know next week.
Okay, so they'll put out an official statement.
They'll put up.
But you are hinting at.
Yes, it's going up. Well, it will go up anyway.
You've hinted at.
Now, it might not go up, or even if it goes up slightly. There is a component which was argued on, the distribution connection service that had been paid to the Gencos, DCS2. There's DCS1 and DCS2. DCS1 is paid to ECG. Once upon a time, DCS1 and DCS2 were together. But then for some reason, they divided it and decided to pay the DCS2 to the Gencos. But the funny thing is that the Ministry of Finance also pays money to the Gencos. So the question was asked, where does that DCS2 money go to? And that has been, and I have been in these discussions, so I know what I'm talking about. And that has been the bone of contention. And it's being pushed that government should give the DCS2 back to ECG. And if they give that DCS2 back to ECG, the 148% that they are looking for, we might not even need to pay it. That's why I'm saying it might come down slightly, or it might go up just a little bit that everybody
for some
can afford.
Form of education, Gencos are generating companies.
And
then
DC distribution service charge.
Right. I see.
So the distribution service charge 1, which goes to ECG, distribution service charge 2, that was part of ECG but went to the Gencos. So definitely, if they've halved it, then it means DCS1, the amount of money they are getting are going to be reduced. So that is what ECG has been pushing with PURC, that DCS2 should come back to us. And if it comes back to us, we won't really need 148%. But you should realize that at the current moment, power is key for development. None of us can afford not to pay for power, because if we sit here right now and the lights go up, can we do anything?
It's not about the payment. I'm not too sure Ghanaians are even worried about the payment, because we are heavily charged for a lot of things. It's about the provision of the services and the quality.
So this is where, if ECG right now get all the monies they are looking for, we now have to put pressure on ECG to give us the quality that we expect. And it's the regulator, it's the policy makers, and it's the people. You see, in this country, we find it very difficult to have concerted and collective action.
How is that? From who?
Well, sometimes the people.
Really?
Yes.
We've been talking.
Yeah, we've been talking.
Somebody has to listen.
The fact that you talk doesn't mean it will be done.
So what do we do?
We sit on this platform, and so many things come up. We talk about it. Is it being done? We've got to show government that we are serious.
How do we do that?
March to Flagstaff House.
A lot of people have done that.
Yes.
Some people have done that.
Yes.
in the process.
Yes.
They've lost their eyes.
Yes.
They've clashed with the
Some
police.
of us would have to sacrifice for government to do the right thing. But one of the major challenges I find is the fact that when political parties are in power, sometimes they are not like Philip, who would sit and say what you're doing is wrong, irrespective of the fact that it's his party. A lot of supporters of political parties, instead of saying something, they just keep quiet.